Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quantity VTF here at T3 Live and starting off 2018. And one thing is everybody gets all fired up. I'm not going to break my rules. I'm going to do everything this year. We're all going to come gangbusters on Tuesday and like, take it easy. All right? We need things to start setting in motion. We still got a ridiculously low VIX. We still have all that kind of stuff. Ideally, we would get a simultaneous break where everything goes one direction to start off, like 2016. That would be ideal. More often than not, we don't get that. So, but we'll take a look. Let's go to SPY, and the problem is here. I mean, is that the low volatility, but we come in bearish engulfing. They did hit them a little bit, and it's still a lot of micromanaging. Here's your 60-minute try in here. Take care of them. These things are still tight. All right, like so. And so if you go to the weekly, what you do have is a small shooter. I think we're inside though. Nope, not quite inside. Small shooter to start, but so ideally, what we want here is to start coming back through all this stuff and really, open up the floodgates a little bit on the for some volatility. But we'll see. QQQ here and QQQ slight higher high, then back in, and still just watching this daily like this. Here's still walking up a higher series of triangles like this. Question: are we going to come down and take this stuff out? It's going to be weak enough to ever come back down through this stuff, and that's what we're going to have to find out once they open them. If we go to Apple here daily, higher highs, lower lows, higher highs here. Back in the try, gaps down and holds this gap so far. And what it did was almost nothing on the month. But it is shooter on the month. I'll blow this stuff up so you can see it. So it does go shooter month. So that would kick that in right here below 166.46. And on the daily, once again, if you go here, you're going to see this. Like so. So triangle coming out around 164 and change down here if we can get them down there. So we'll see. If we get to, and at that point, that shooter would kick in. So we can see what gives. If we go to the small cappers. Small cappers, also bearish engulfing day. All right, and so we'll see that's fractal triangle if we can go expando and try and get a hit out of this. Couldn't take all this business out up here, and monthly here would be Momo Hammer again if we can take it out, but we came up and came back into it. So bearish engulfing to start off, and not much on the weekly. There's a bunch of little teeny shooters, and it's like these ranges are tight. So see how they start off. TLT bonds, and bonds are going to start off as an inside week here and like this. So this triangles this stuff out here. So it's still a lot of micromanagement. Remember the macro videos coming out. I got 2 more videos coming out this weekend that you're going to want to pay attention to, because this is going to be the macro stuff is really what we really want to kick in to know where we're going to be going. So you got that insider, and what that did here on the daily and TLT is still in here. Here's your daily triangle, and now inside week. So watching that inside week to either go back up into there or down to here, or rev strat thereof. So we'll see how TLT plays that out. SVXY and SVXY actually bearish engulfing and stuck up in here. Also, like you can see, the good part is we do have a lot of these shooter things. If we get these shooters to start kicking in, hopefully we can get a little smackdown to start off the year and get some volatility going. But if you go to the monthly here, if we drop back inside month, almost for sure. So, but we'll see. So far, so good, and just got nothing new outside of this tiny bearish engulfing stuff. If we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, another minor shooters. See these teeny shooters here. So we do have shooters, and we do have bearish engulfing day. It's just the magnitude is going to be the problem, because the ranges are so tight. But we'll see. That would be triangle expando and shooter down if we can get it going. And you'll see in the diamonds there's a lot of tight stuff here. DuPont is inside week and inside month, so at least we got some combination there. Inside week and inside month to try and take those out. Johnny Jan would be rev strat month to the downside here, and that would be below 138.60. McDonald's, McBurgers, you can see the monthly doji shooter real tight, but it does go inside. Does go inside on the week here, so outside week, inside week for McDonald's. So the hopes would be expand that triangle there on the weekly with the inside break. Well, we'll see. If we go to Boeing, What a year for Boeing, man. Now inside week, we just see how ridiculously stupid tight this range is. So we'll see how that goes in mini mines. The same inside and just real tight ranges. So the good thing is there's a lot of insiders, and if we can get the simultaneous break going, that's the key to getting an initial nice move to start the year. Microsoft the same. Procter and Gamble. Travelers. And the good thing with Travelers here is you got the outside week and then the inside week. So we want to try and get outside of that triangle. And if it's still go time for these babies, you got your monthly Momo hammers to try and accelerate out of that thing. Go to UNH. UNH. Another bearish engulfer. Weekly inside. So we'll see. And it's 1, 2, 3 inside of this. So still want to try and get outside of that, all that stuff. If we go to the trannies. Trannies weekly. Let's see if I don't think IYT is inside, was it? Yeah, IYT is inside. So we're starting off as an inside week there. That's good. Like I said, so we do have actionable signals. It'll be another thing if we just want blowing into the highs. We do have a lot of inside weeks because of short weeks. Often we'll do that. Like I can't say enough that the magnitude is going to continue to be the problem. But if we do get the simultaneous break, we'll be fortunate. Because if we go to American Airlines inside on the week. You've got Alaska Airlines inside on the week, still trying to come up off of this stuff, or if it's another dinky do like this here and repuke, do another one of these if they got it in her. Go to Delta. Delta inside week, right off the recent highs, and the inside month and up is exhausted. Southwest Air, the inside year is now exhausted, and that was a nice move for that. That's how we knew it to be there. The important part too is the range expansion on outside month and outside month to the upside triangle expansion and inside year and up to end the year. But now inside weeks for a lot of these airlines to start off the month and year. FedEx inside week there. UPS inside week there. Rail, we've been watching this monthly for a long time, and finally goes inside month. Here, how do we get out of this? Because the greater try, remember, is this big one here. This thing, and now you got this. How do we get out of this? And hopefully get that month and get this thing going, but we'll see. Starting off the month, Hertz, inside month. XPO just gunning, so see if she's got any more in the tank. I want to try and get the measured mover. You got setting up the rev strat day to start off the new year here, 2-bar pattern. Go to the Utes. A little boring, but Utes do triangulate out weekly. Like so. So there's your weekly triangle for the utilities to start off. You got NEE going inside week, and you've got SRE inside week. So we'll see how they start off. Look at the XME. Nice move. And here he goes with the hammer counter shooter. Now just exhaust towards the highs. You got a small Momo hammer daily. But like with gold is inside year, and silvers are both inside years. So still on the monthly, you do have an outside month for gold, right? And that was that big daily triangle we just saw. But so getting outside of that would be triangle expando either side. At least start off the year and try and go after the inside years. You got ATI here going inside month. CENX just kind of like to watch these bigger triangles when we get to the beginning of the year, and like so. If we really start to gun these things, this is a pretty nice whopper of a try, and the question is this stuff corrective activity right here? Still moving higher. No actionable signal on that, but Alcoa certainly heading the nice move and comes out of this stuff. And FCX, but like I said, these have had mighty runs here. Yikes. Here. And now the outside day up in there, so no new actionable signals, but we'll see when gold and silver and all that kind of stuff, and we'll get to the macro video, can break out of those years, then we'll talk. All right, if we go to FAS, financials. More bearish engulfing day to start off, and FAS on the weekly here, inside week, XLF. Misses by a penny, but it's a 2-bar pattern. You can see how tight this stuff is. So a lot of these banks real tight too, and a lot of inside weeks there too. And KRE here, and so you can see we're starting off with some tight stuff. Did KRE stay in there? No, but like the mill a penny. JP Morgan, Dow Joneser, and that's inside week, and bearish engulfing day. So Citicorp's. Not quite the week, but a 2-week inside pattern because these things are still inside of that. Bank of Mercer, inside week. Wells Fargo, inside week. You got Ozark inside week, so pretty much the full boat there on inside week. So we'll see what we can get out of them. Ameriprise, SIVB. The bigger movers. We can get that thing cruising or puking. We go to MA and VSER, and these things triangle day out. You'll recall, and what that does set up for the monthlies, potential momentum hammers into the highs. So MA, VSER, Capital One exhausted that Momo hammer move up, and now is inside week. Mirror Trade. The mirror trade sets up the potential monthly shooter counters hammer if they want to bring this baby in, and that would be below 50.03. AIG, and AIG goes monthly hammer. Just trying to get back up into that stuff, and it does start off as inside week as well. Franklin Resources, Ben, potentially if they want to bring her in. Once again, monthly shooter counters hammer. Trying to get through this chop shop. That wouldn't kick in until 42.32. If we go to the crude oil, the crude oil going to be interesting because UCO and USO are inside years, but crude I believe is not. So, but there's going to be a whole bunch of this stuff on the macro. So when we get to that, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. So for right now, we're just starting off the new month. Here, like so, just higher level triangles here and then up into there. So slight doji shooter on that. But what's good is like XLE, and you can see once again these micro shooters. But on the macro, XLE, XOP, and OIH are all inside years. All right, so that's something we're going to want to know about, right? We're going to have to wait for those things to break. If you go to Exxon also a yearly hammer, but we'll get to that later. So right now, monthly, trying to go monthly hammer, and try and get out of all this stuff. But we'll get to that in the macro. Chever, inside month and up. That's good. That's closer to the highs, and so we can look for continuation patterns on that. And once again, starts as micro shooter to start off the new year. Carrizo. One of those used to be some bodiers, and now inside week to see if we can get out of this and go up sideways measured move, or does it drop back further into the daily try like this into here. Emerald Hess. And Emerald Hess, a little more pronounced of a shooter. They want to bring this thing back through here. And on the monthly, looking like this, somewhat hammer counter shooter, trying to get off of this stuff, still higher than that. So, like I said, we're going to have to see how a lot of this stuff goes. Noble Energy and BL. And on the monthly, you can see this is still trying to come off of this stuff into here. Now, to start off, it has made this move in here, right? So now you got this triangle in here to watch, and you're on the upper part of that, so you just want to be aware of that on the weekly. Here, if they want to drop slight higher high and drop her back in, or up sideways and measured move and start get. If we go to NFX, none of those micro shooters. However, it is monthly hammer if it goes the other way here. Oxy. still working this triangle down here and still muscling it up, and that's still up towards 80, and that's still a nice move from here. Just no actionable signals at this time. SLCA. SLCA starts off as inside month, inside week combo. Like so. SM Energy. SM, once again, is this RevStrat? Yeah, this would be RevStrat down, but you can see this tight range shooter, but it would be RevStrat down if it takes it down. Go to the monthly. It's not quite inside month, but a whole bunch of nothing down in here. Just chopping them up a little bit. But like I said, once things are in motion, that'll change. WLL. WLL with the splits used to be somebody, right? And now starting off as inside month. Hard to see, but it is. Slab. Okay, Slab. When you can try and get out of this stuff would be the question. Watching this and then here, and if you go to the weekly, here it's still trying to go back up, so we can see it was not inside, so it'd be slight higher high, could try and go right back down again, or once again, if we start getting going, we try measured move toward that stuff. So on the daily, you got this triangle day out, and now hammer back up through this range. The higher highs and the lower lows, like so. Halliburton was a little bit stronger on that monthly, went up, corrective, then measured move up to that. So just need more actionable signals. You do have daily Momo hammer to start off, like so. Baker Hughes goes inside month, inside week combo. Here and like so. PDS, like I said, this oil's come out of here. We got some bottom picking we can do if these things start motoring. PDS, precision drilling, inside month down into here. Rowan drilling, RDC. You can see this triangle here. And I don't believe that was inside. No, you just watch this triangle here. Like I said, bottom feeding. But these are on a percentage basis. That would be real nice if things start moving out in Weatherford WFT. Inside monther, and boy, she's taking a beating, but that weekly did hold that try nicely for us to get started here. Now you just get up into here, and so it's only a few pennies here to take that inside month right out the chute and start gunning. It'd be a real nice move in here if we can get that thing going. It's also an outside day. Fractal try to start the week off to try and do it. If we go to EGN triangle here, and you can see this monthly hammer that would be above 58.96. EEP and Bridge Energy Partners inside month are down into here. Big old monthly try. Used to be somebody, so we'll see if that thing can finally come off. It's also an inside week. And Valero. So after the mighty refiner rally, like I said, some of these refiners, it's just micro shooters somewhat off the top to start. We'll see if that's exhausted and they've bought all last year. All right, we go to XRT Retail. XRT on the macro goes yearly hammer, but we'll get to that later. So XRT here in the month. Here you can see all it could do from 16 was slightly take out some low lows. So anyway, we're just stuck in here. We went outside this outside month slightly. So the question, do we try and go back down or start going after more of that stuff? If we go to Walmart been corpsing up here. The inside year and up is now gone. It's now an inside month after this business, which has been ridiculously tight grinder. So what it does do, it goes month and week combo, inside week. Go to Target. Target Doji Shooter, if they want to bring her back into that kind of stuff. It was a nice month, but that's exhausted. So this would be shooter down below 64.60. Costco, ridiculously tight inside week. So like I said, some of these ranges. It does go monthly shooter here if they want to bring her all the way back in. But as you can see, this daily is just anemic. It would be a daily rev strat of slight magnitude. So we'll see what gives there. If we go to bloodbath and beyond, ow, corpse. And so what this thing does goes inside week. After the inside or outside week, inside week. So you're trying to get out of that triangle, and that would be a problem if it starts going the downside, because you'd have the monthly shooter to go after the outside month to go triangle back down into new lows. If we go to foot lockage, don't call it a comeback, but it totally was. Outside bar monthly. And once again, that's exhausted stuff. And so all it is here, finally a shooter. If it's not strong enough to come take on all this stuff, come back through all that stuff. But we will see. If we go to Hain Celestial, Hain goes inside month. And remember, this is just things to triangle and machine in here, right? And now we finally got the inside month here to see if we can get out. There's that outside month, inside month, to see if we can finally make a major move out of this stuff. If we go to Macy's, and the question is Macy's going to be toast? Was this all she's got? You got the outside bar, right? And then you took all this stuff out, all right? And then you come back in on the weekly, you're going to look like this. Like so. And it also sets up Rev Strat week down if they want to repuke. Go to Phillips Van Heusen. Phillips Van Heusen, the comeback has been on for quite the while. As it comes back up through all this stuff, finally up to come up to the highs, and now you go inside month or to start off the new year of Phillips Van Heusen is for reals playa again. Go to TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx, you get the max for the minimum of TJ Maxx, and you've got the old here weekly shooter. So we'll see if they want to shoot it back down, if they get strong enough to start powering up into that stuff. If we go to Ulta. Ulta starts off as an inside week to see if it's going to try and get back up into that try, or this is all she's got. Come repuking through this stuff. If we go to Williams-Sonoma, inside week. And the problem for Williams-Sonoma here would be this. Monthly shooter counters hammer. As you can see that. And so that would kick in here below 49.76er. If you go to the IBB, monthly hammer, side by hammers, countering the outside month. So we could still start working on that as the fractal try if we can get back into there. Here's the weekly. So the weekly comes off of this stuff and then does the outsider, but now it's shooter counters hammer on that. So if they want to repuke, and you got the XLV going the slight shooter again, and Labu comes in for Rev Strat week to the downside, bearish engulfing day. Yeah. Here. So we're going to keep an eye on that. The good part is if we can recover, just like the IBB, you do have these hammers here on the month. If we go to GILD, still struggling, triangulate out and coming right back in. So no new actionable signals there. We'll see. It's certainly struggling amongst here, so we can watch this triangle here, those higher highs, these lower lows and stuff. We'll see no actionable signal there. If we go to Regeneron monthly, I believe goes inside month here. Yes, inside month here for Regeneron. So either measured move or puker and go to the bottom of the triangle, or just triangle these guys out and try and come back up through that stuff. Celgene, Celgene goes Rev Strat month, and this is one of the problems is when you get stuck in something like this. Because how are you going to get out? How are you going to get outside of all of that? Right? So what you do have is an inside week here. See if it's a slow grinder on this thing or repuke. If we go to BIIB, okay. So weekly doji countering outside week, so tried to see if we can get back in that fractal try. What it does do, though, the problem would be the monthly Rev Strat to the downside, or 2-bar pattern above that, Rev Strat below this, and that's 311.75 on the downside if they want to start repuke. Amgen shooter counters hammer month, and so that would kick in below 173.43. AGIO would be RevStrat weak to the downside here. 2-bar pattern because they're both in that thing, but goes RevStrat here closer to 57.04. Alexion. And Alexion here tries to go the shooter counters hammers if they just micro triangle these guys out down in here. If this is the lower level try, if they want to come repuking down through that. If you go to the monthly, it's an outside month. So if you can get outside of that, then your fractal triangles expand out to the upside, and that would be above 121.20. Blue. And blue, big old monthly shooter after taking them all out up into here. It's dried up into nothing on the daily right here, but that gives you inside week here. If they want to go down inside week measured move puker, drug don't work. EGRX is on an inside week, inside month combo. Try and get outside of all this stuff. ESPR, Momo Hammer, and used to be somebody up in here if the druggies can work. So that'd be nice. That would go Momo Hammer above 68.60. Juno goes shooter counters hammer weekly here. If they want to triangle they out, and come repuking here too. That'd be below 45.09er. PBYI goes inside week, and so the reason that's important is we can see this. It's been a tight triangle as the week forms, and you see this triangle here to try and get outside of that stuff. And once again, we'd want to try and get in the greater try, this thing, the outside month, and the low of that is 97.44, and we're back into that. So might keep an eye on that inside week. Perigo inside month, still the slow grinder fighting for life, and on a micro basis, the weekly shooter counters hammer. Rare goes inside week if there's any hope, and triangle they out into this stuff, see if you can get up through there or repuke down into there because you had an outside month here, and so outside of that outside month is really where you want to try and be, but start off at the week. SGen, so it's up RevStrat weaker to the downside or 2-bar pattern completely inside of that, so that RevStrat kicks in 52.75 below that. Sarepta tiny shooter, but monthly inside Momo Hammer to try and go back to the greater try, and what a try this thing was. Get them. They got them, but good. Stop them out. Higher highs, lower lows, higher highs. And now see if we can get up towards that stuff. And if whatever this was, finally, that drug finally works. Who knows? So right now, you got the shooter week and the inside month Momo Hammer. Sarepta. If we go to TAC, XLK, what are you going to say? Outside month. And so what's important about that was, it's fractal try. And so looks like this on the daily. There's your daily triangle in here. Now, how do we get out of this thing? Or do we stay inside month? This would be nice if we could get the opening puker, but we'll see. SMH, a little weaker here. And so what SMH does is this on the weekly. Here. Goes up, goes RevStrat, but gaps down a little bit. So 2 shooters. We're going to try and get out of this thing. But as you can see in the daily, it's been tight in here. The question is, do they triangle them out like these? Here, take them out, and come gunning for some of this stuff. If we can start to hit these things, go to Facebook, and Facebook doing all sorts of nothing. And so Facebook starts off just monthly doji doing nothing. All right, weekly doji doing nothing. So it's 3-week pattern inside of this. So at first you want to see if you can break that or break that. All right, 3-week inside pattern. Amazon doing nothing. How do you get outside of all this stuff, right? The good thing about Amazon is just like last year, it starts off as inside month. That was a nice January, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Right here. Never had to touch it. So the question, can we go up, sideways, and measured move of this stuff as the king of the world takes over, Death Star, or do they try and bring him in? But inside month to keep an eye on for Amazon. And Netflixy gives you RevStratter month. And RevStratter month inside day to start off the new year to see if Netflixy wants to revisit some folk and up in here. If we go to Google daily try, bam, 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 and the question can be weak enough to come all the way down into that stuff. And so once again, that's your outside month giving you a very clear try. If we go to Amber is monthly shooter to see if it's too weak to take all this stuff out and come repuking through this stuff here. Also be multiple week pattern here. 3 weeks inside of this thing, all right? And it would be RevStrat down. If you could take this out and go hunting, all that stuff would be nice. And that would below 57.85. ANET. Slight shooter, but monthly here. Inside Momo Hammer near the highs after an outside bar. Baba doing nothing on the month, but Baba's starting tight here. You got your inside week here, trying to get out of that stuff, but drying up into nothing. But we'll see what they come thinking new year. EXPE goes inside month here. So can we get back into this outside month fractal try or measured move of death? IAC starting off the week or the New Year's an inside week. So maybe they try and go day out, come repuke down through that stuff, or you can try and get back into this outside week up in here. Log me in. Okay. Outside week, inside week. Not sure how much we'll get out of that, but if you look at the monthly, you'll see this. Here would be slight RevStrat to the upside 2-bar pattern because both of these are in this stuff. And so a little tight, and in the daily, you can just look at this try here. See how do we get out of this thing. LRCX. See this? What is this? That's what we want to know. Do we get some repuking out of here? If you go to the monthly, here goes higher high, then lower low. So this could be upper level try if they want it to be. And on the weekly, you can see this just chop shop of doji land. So the question is, can we get all that stuff to kick in, measured mover, or are they going to try and triangle that back up? So we'll just keep an eye on that with the rest of them. Overstock goes inside week as well. It should after these mighty ranges, so we'll keep an eye on that. But be aware this thing is most likely going inside month, almost for sure. But as we've seen, blockchains and bitcoins and anything that's related to that can heat up. Palo Alto Networks. Palo Alto goes outside month, inside month. And look at this. Doji. Chopped them up, but good. So the question now is going to be time to finally get something really going in the greater outside try on the monthly. Big daily looks like this. Here. Bam, 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 bam. And I read in here, so hopefully the next move takes out that or that. We can watch that either side of that month. PFPT comes back up. Monthly RevStrat inside month countered here, and that would be above 92.92. Roku. Okay, Roku. Roku, like a lot of things, starting off weekly shooter. If they want to try and bring it in. Roku below 51.01. Sanmina, SANM. Just tight inside week. Watching all this try like here, because if it can start moving, that would kick in the monthly hammer here, back up into this stuff, back up into this outside month. Shop, rev strat monther, two month inside pattern. So either that or that. But once you go rev strat here above 108.04. Splunk goes inside month. So see if it just got these guys to go after. If it goes up, sideways, and measured move to try and get out of here. SQ puker comes in, and now it's like, if it's really all over, at least for now, got an inside week to start off. So if that's just the corrective activity to start off, they start saying maybe this thing is for reals play. We got an inside week to start the week off. That would be above 36.10. STX goes inside week. Just exhausted the inside month. So it's like just a tight inside week to see if it can continue this grind, if it can triangulate back down through this stuff. SYNA Sina does this. Inside month after the outside month. Fractal try and get out of that stuff. So pay attention to that month. TSEM. Inside month for the semi. Texas Instruments. Blaster. Outside month to the upside, and now starting off as an inside week. VMW, just another one of them tight inside weakers, which we only pay attention to. It was an outside month, for one. And so we're going to get outside of that try, and you're going to see a bunch of this on the daily here. Boom, boom, boom. How do we get out of this thing? WB goes inside month. Here. How do we get outside of that stuff? That should make it interesting. I believe it starts off as an inside week as well. It do. W-Day comes up here, and which makes it interesting here. So we've been watching these bigger tries, but if you go to the monthly, you'll see this. That outside month, and now doji. How do we get outside of this doge? Because otherwise it's expansion of this outside, or we get back into the try. It's got some room on either side. It is inside weak, just a little tight for right now. Just a few more. AGCO. And that goes shooter counters hammer month. So that would kick in below 70.45. It's also an inside week. ALGN. Inside week, down. Now another inside week to start off the year. If this was the exhausted move and they want to triangle some folk down through here, some folks. Mercantile starting off tight inside weaker stuff. What it would be, though, also slightly here, monthly, it would be hammer counter shooter. And you got CCI. Here is an inside month on the highs, near the highs, and S back. Also an inside month, so you can keep those in mind on the towers. Charter would be rev strat month or up. 2-bar pattern because it couldn't get outside of that. Month and up there, so that's going to give you the try because you can identify the try here by taking the slight outside bar, slight up to the highs and back in. Here, and that's going to show up on your 60. Like this. Bam, 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 bam. Now how do we get outside of this stuff? Potentially, if we want to kick back down through, it is rev strat day to the downside here. If it wants to come back all through this triangle here, below 330, 382. Ellie May Clampett, ELLI. And this coming in rev strat monther. They want to repuke here. That goes rev strat month. Hammer counter, shooter counters inside below 85.74. FMC giving you the side by side monthly Momo hammers if they want a cranker. above that stuff. FXI, China. China goes monthly hammer counter shooter. And this is in the greater try, like so. Yowzer. Like so. Okay. ISRG. ISRG, a little bring 'em in music. And then inside week. See if there's more bring 'em in music, or hold and go back up. Cheese ketchup, KHC. Starting off as an inside week, so not too exciting there, but we'll see what they can get out of there. Watching it with the XLP kind of stuff. RDN. RDN, RevStrat month or downside. Here, after going into higher highs, and that would RevStrat here below 2024. STMP. Inside month there. And so tough business getting outside of this stuff, so be aware of that. But go to the weekly and you see this. Slight higher high, so that would have to keep powering once it got up into here. But we'll see. Or they triangulate out and puke. SWK. SWK right up there top. So Black & Decker, if they want to crank her. Momo Hammer monthly above 170.90. TDG. TDG goes inside month. Here to start off, and this baby can move around, so that'd be something that would get my attention. You also go inside week. For the combination, got to get outside of that. Tree. The mighty tree goes inside week. And that was inside year and up for quite the cranker. And it's an inside day weekly combo to start off the year. Why? Inside week, inside month combination. And Tesla. Tesla would be monthly shooter if they want to try and bring this thing back into the try a little bit more, because we got that inside week last week that comes down, triangle layout. The question would be weak enough to try and challenge all this stuff towards that upper 280s, and like as you can see on the daily, if they want to just keep this, reverse this thing and take all this stuff out, that'd be down into here. So we'll see. No new actionable signal on that outside of that monthly shooter if it kicks in. So like I said, if we're fortunate, a lot of these inside weeks all break in one direction and we get a nice move to start off the year, but we'll just have to see because of the volatility still at low levels. But everything starts over on Tuesday, baby, and then we're going to watch this video. I'm going to get the other two out, and that's going to make a big difference on how we're going to see things. So this is a little blueprint to see what we can do to start off the year. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Black Quant VTF here at T3 Live.